Only checks Facebook.
And we are live.
We're good?
We're good.
All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in, and welcome to the Survivor Boston Season 3 PreMerge reunion, where we will be talking with some of the castaways who were eliminated so far up to the PreMerge portion. First, there's Shelley. Kenzie, Christine, and Mary unfortunately can't be here, and Joe Scar. But we do have Shelley, Hannah, and Tony here today, and a special guest who we'll get to in a second. But first, we have Shelley. How are you doing, Shelley?
Hi, I'm just happy to be here, Charlie. It's very fun to be reunited with everybody, obviously. I've been doing really well.
Great. Tony, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. I literally just got back from an 8-hour bus ride in Montreal where I spent the weekend with my ex. So I'm doing pretty well.
It's fun.
I'm glad to be back, and I'm glad to be with my Survivor Boston family, to say the least.
Wait, Tony, are you in the student lounge right now?
Hell yeah,
After this,
girl.
can I come up and hear all about that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, bet.
Well, I have tribal no.
Oh.
No. Anyway.
All right, and then our last cast member, we got Hannah Cairo. How are you doing, Hannah?
I'm doing really good. I forgot that I bought tickets to a drag show
Oh my
tonight.
god.
Was the Haters Roast. And so I just came from there. I watched about 45 minutes of it. I paid $50 to see only Miss Cracker, and it's worth it. And I have a nose ring now.
Oh my god, I didn't even look at it. Shit. Okay, go
My
on.
life is weird.
Great. And then we also have a very special guest, Season 1 winner, Sarah Duvall. Sarah, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm here. I'm okay, you know. I'm also a producer on the show.
Yeah, I was just about to say today, Sarah, since you won Season 1, you've still been pretty heavily involved with Survivor. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I have. So basically after Season 1, for those of you who don't know, Charlie went abroad for the semester that we did Season 2, and Jacob and Charlie approached me, and at the time another guy, Kevin, and asked if the two of us would like to hop on board the producing team with Jacob, of course, since Charlie was going to be away. And so I started there, and then I stuck around because it's addicting. And yeah, and I'm here. Hello.
And she's the one that tortured us with the eating challenge. It was awesome.
Yeah, eating challenge is my favorite. If you remember on Season 1, I said in the first episode that I would eat anything and that I really wanted there to be an eating challenge, and I was disappointed that there wasn't one on Season 1. And then we didn't have time for one on Season 2. So for Season 3, I was like, we are making it a point to have an eating challenge.
I will never get over
so
that. That's PDLC.
we can thank Sarah for that.
You're welcome.
Sarah.
At the front of the the competition, when she literally was like, I would eat everything. I would eat every single thing here, for fun. I eat this regularly.
I did. While we were setting it up, I tried every single thing.
Even the pepper?
Yeah, I ate a full pepper.
Wow.
The pepper wasn't horrible.
Eat it.
I didn't eat it, but
No.
All right. So I'm going to cut in here. Hi, guys. I'm Jacob. I'm cool. I'm the other host for those. You all know that.
Jacob,
you wouldn't be watching that.
You're here.
I'm here. I made it.
Oh my God.
So basically, what's going to happen tonight, we have a bunch of questions that were submitted over the past basically about a week, really specifically for the three of you. So it doesn't even matter that the others aren't even here, whatever. And if anyone who is currently watching in the chat has any questions, feel free to throw those out. I see all you guys talking in there right now. You guys are fantastic. Best fans down there. You guys are fantastic, by the way. It's been so awesome to watch all the feedback for this season. I love it.
Yeah,
But we'll jump right into the first question because it's the most commonly asked question from anybody. Pretty much everybody submitted this as one of their questions, and it's going to go straight to you, Tony.
okay, great.
So, Tony, when did you find out that the idol was fake? And how did you react to that?
I like to say that I found out immediately after, but I literally did not find out until literally the end of the game, basically. And I respected it. I respected that I got played because I was really, really, really freaking cocky that it was the real thing. I was flinging it around for all the confessionals. Like, I literally, that confessional, and I'm so glad they didn't include it. But it's just me being like, no matter what, I know I'm not going home tonight. And part of me felt cocky enough that I wasn't going home and that the plan for Joe made sense. That, like, I didn't need to use it, but the reality is if I thought I was going home, I thought that was a real idol and I would have used it and I would have used a fake idol. It would have been horrible.
It would have been like really bad, but like funny TV.
I thank God every single day I thank God that I was stupid.
I was hoping that you were gonna play it so badly. Oh my god!
A lot of the viewers also wanted you to play it just to see
I saw a lot
the
of
reaction.
comments where it was like, I wish he played it, and I downvoted every single one.
He said,
not on my watch.
So I guess kind of going off of that, Tony, like because a major like plot point throughout the first half of this game is your relationship with Molly.
Yeah.
Because Molly had some amazing choice words of what she thought of your past relationship before the game.
Yeah.
Kind of after the game, like, and to this point, how are you and Molly, basically?
Molly's watching. Hey, girl.
Molly's watching, but pretend she's not.
Yes, she is. Molly's watching.
Just pretend she's not. If you need
Okay, well, I talk shit to her anyway. What was the question? How do I feel about Molly?
Yeah.
I love Molly. Molly's literally one of my closest friends. And literally, okay, so here's the truth. Molly is the first person that I became friends with at Emerson College. And she like wished me happy birthday. The thing is, she thought I was straight. And hi, Molly, I'm airing our dirty laundry. And like, she thought I was cute. And so like we just got really, really close. And then we had a falling out like the end of freshman year, beginning of sophomore year, or something like that. And she was really apprehensive to play the game with me when she found out that I was on the cast, and rightfully so, because I didn't do things that were very fair or right to her in our relationship. So then I think throughout the process in season 3, she and I just like found that we're both fucked up people. So throughout that process, we found that as a way to kind of, in a like sick and twisted way, rebuild our relationship by lies and deceit, which is a good thing. And honestly, we're just as good now. We've gotten back to our original place, I think. So what you see in season 3, they don't show you a lot of how much closer we get during that process. That's a lot of what gets missed out in the edit. But yeah, that's me and Molly right now. She's texting me right now.
We cut out the wholesome bits, only put in the drama.
Yeah.
No, Molly in the last
That's
episode
good,
had
yeah,
like her
that's
whole life, or 2 episodes ago had this whole like,
Yeah.
you know, like this whole
yeah.
relationship with Tony thing.
She's like, he's fun to hang around. And earlier, what she said, literally, also the thing is, sorry, I just grabbed this. She, after the season had ended, we were just like, full disclosure, like saying all the shit we had talked about each other so that we wouldn't be shocked. And she was telling me all these things, and I was like, Molly, I hope you know, like, I didn't talk about you in my confessionals. I was like, you were not really on my mind. Like, I didn't talk shit about you at all. I don't think she believed me until she saw the episodes where she was like, oh, you know, I meant it. But
Awesome.
yeah, that's me and Molly for those inquiring minds.
Okay. I have a question for Shelley, actually.
yes.
So Shelley, this isn't actually something that someone sent in, but you have your gameplay, or I guess you on the show, has gotten some pretty good reception from the viewers. You have a lot of people in the comments, at least, who seem to like you a lot. What's been your kind of reaction to that?
It's been crazy, especially being in the game for such a short time, you know? It's nice to know that I made an impact, and I'm just so fucking grateful for everyone who's been so kind, because getting voted out early, especially as a freshman in college, doesn't feel good, you know? Because it's like, man, I'm new to a new place. I'm from a different place than most of the people who go to this college. Let's start with an immediate rejection from my peers. So being like a slightly older lady now, and also Alan JD for Life Productions. I'm from South Carolina.
Not north.
I guess kind of going off that question, Shelley, because you did a lot of things that a lot of players have never done in this game. The most important of which is the PowerPoint. You made a PowerPoint to stay in the game. What was the thought process? Like, why did it come to a PowerPoint? Like, it could have been anything. Could have been anything.
Well, I don't know how to use Prezi, so that was the first part of my logic. So I pulled up, and so John gets there first at my suite. You didn't see this because we weren't recording when people were first getting there. And I look at John and I'm like, "Hey, is everything okay?" Because he looked really like squirrely. He's like avoiding eye contact in my own damn home. And so I'm like, "Hey, John, what's going on?" And that's when he tells me, he was like, "You're going home this week." And so I had 10 minutes to throw together a last-ditch effort to like see if I could stay. We all know how that ended up. But
on our part.
He texted us frantically, and he was like, "She's making a PowerPoint. Help me. Come here right now."
and that's so disrespectful, because that PowerPoint would have been much better if I had some time on it.
That's really time crunch.
I'm talking GIFs. I'm talking music.
Someone actually did ask the question, Shelley, why did you not make a better PowerPoint to stay in the game?
Well, I had 5 minutes. Everyone, well, with fame comes responsibility, and I'll make better PowerPoints in the future.
Are you proud of the way that you played the game, Shelley?
There are some things I would change about how I played the game,
Really?
for sure.
Like what?
I wouldn't have trusted John as much as I did.
Yeah.
Same.
Because if I feel like if I had leaned harder on like Hannah or Tony, I would have someone to come to my aid when the shit went really sour. Like, I would have had that foundation built instead of trusting John 100%. Just because, like, I feel like me, Hannah, and Tony's alliance was very numbers oriented. Mm-hmm. And I wish I had forged more of a friendship with them so that when the cone happens, I would have something to lean on besides, like, my own abilities, which are PowerPoint and weird idle plays.
So that was a great transition into my next question, Shelley.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. So, the 3 Mete members here had to actually go through that challenge. But Sarah, on the other hand, wasn't participating. She was just viewing what I consider to be the worst challenge performance in Survivor history. Sarah, what was kind of rolling through your head? What was your perception of the challenge? I forget. I think you were there that night.
I was there, yeah.
Yeah, what was your perception of that challenge?
Well, I mean, I played with Moses on season 1 and remember him as a very good, like, challenge competitor and all of that. And so when I don't know what was going through his head, if he just, like, didn't pay attention to us when we were giving them clear instructions on how to play the challenge. But, like, when he brought back a cone, I think I actually, like, started crying because I was laughing so hard. Because I was just like, no, because you guys were also already so far behind and, like, yeah. I love it when the competition gets close. Like, that's what I love so much about the challenges and everything. And, like,
break it to you, but
he brought back the cone and I was just like, no. That was the best part.
My soul left my body.
Also, Shelley, I love that you were telling people to go to different objects as if they could see them.
Listen, I could see them. I had difficulty relating.
I don't know where the tree is. Like,
it it
Where's
was
there?
You need to know where a tree is.
and it was funny when
Remember.
oh
Sorry. No.
go ahead, Tony.
No, my favorite thing was because I never even, for some reason, processed this. But watching episode 4 back, when Shelley was like, "People are giving me all this shit for calling, and nobody's giving Moses shit for picking up a call."
Truly,
Like,
I
gee,
regret not.
we
right
made
then.
choices. Okay, sorry, Charlie.
No, it was just funny when Moses was bringing back the cone because me, Jacob, and Sarah were all just looking at each other like, what are we supposed to say? Like,
Yeah.
did we say something in this context? Like, what do we do here?
The camera zooms in on me. I'm like, did he just bring back the fucking cone?
And then we just kind of had to say, no, you can't start yet. That's not the last bag. You don't have all 4 bags.
He was so confident with it too. That was the
He
thing.
was like, yep, I got it.
He said, I got it.
Like-
So I said, come on back.
I guess now to jump to this most current episode, I think we had one of the most like complex vote flipping around that we've ever really had. So we're gonna kind of try to take apart this vote one piece at a time, Hannah. So the question that was mainly submitted for this one was the vote really originally going to be Nick or Moses, or was it always going to be either you or Molly? And if it was Nick or Moses, when did that switch?
Okay, so when we first went to dinner, I guess I made the mistake of talking first because that's always what happens. Is I was like, okay, everyone at this table, we good? And then I said Nick because I didn't know the guy. And then I was like, I'm willing to take out one of my own, Moses, for the good of the new tribe, which I thought we were all cool with. But apparently, someone in the chat had a different idea.
Say her damn name.
Molly LeGrand. Yeah, so it was originally Moses. And the crazy thing is he was like, I'm fine with you taking me out. If we were gonna mercy come out. He was like, it's fine.
It should be noted that Moses didn't want to play the game.
He was like, I'm so busy, I'm hosting the Evvies. And we were like, sure.
Moses literally every single tribal was like, he might as well have been like, please. Like,
He might as well
Kill
done the
me.
Roxy freaking send me home. Every time.
yeah, Moses
He
was a
should've.
lot to work with.
He was nothing
Or
to
no,
work
he was
with.
actually not. He was very
He's
little
nothing.
to work with.
We love him, but as a Survivor player in season 3, he gave us nothing.
So Hannah, what was your sort of view on that move trying to take you out? Your sort of reaction. What's that?
It was bullshit.
And why is that?
Here's the thing. I helped in the challenges. I was willing to the old tribe for the new tribe.
Hey, Becca.
I just tried Becca. I had alliances in the other tribe so that if I was voted out before merge, it sent a message.
I'm gonna cut in here for just 2 seconds. Shelley, every time you like crunch really loudly, the camera cuts to you and everyone sees that you're eating. Just letting you know.
Yeah, maybe hold
Hold off on it.
Yeah.
You're trying to have a
I'll scooch away because I'm real hungry.
Okay.
Okay, Shelley.
Sorry about
So
that, Hannah.
Hannah, another thing that was really brought up during this entire tribal council was that Sarah was the swing vote, not this Sarah, but Sarah Fristow was the swing vote for either voting for you or voting for Molly. What do you think ended up pushing Sarah over to your side instead of Molly's side?
When Sarah and I talked, I told her, I was like, listen, Mete is pretty much dead. You're the only Yord member. All these Laku people are going to stick together. So, like, you can be brought into the island of misfit toys that we are.
I penned that. I started that.
Because we're all broken and lonely, and it would have worked.
That's not true.
And I came into it without assumptions of outside relationships, just being like, hey, as player to player, we should form an alliance and get this going. So I thought that was a good way to go about it, and it seemed like it was until I saw the footage from pre-tribal when she told everybody what we were doing. As much as I love Sarah, that hurt my soul because I didn't know.
You didn't know what.
I didn't know that she told people.
Oh yeah.
I just showed up and she goes, Molly knows. And I didn't know that that meant Molly knows because I told her.
So Hannah, you had the Shelley, I love it. I love your laugh.
This past week.
So Hannah, you had the numbers going into that tribal. Was there any suspicion that there would be an idol at play?
Yeah, there was. Only because of the intensity that was happening, and I spied Molly's purse. And I looked at it, and I was like, "Oh, it's over." And then
I wish I had thought to do that.
And then John and Moses showed up really late, so I didn't have time to be like, "Hey, let's switch our vote to someone else." We just walked in, and I was like, "Oh, I'm dead tonight. Bye."
You know someone's up to some crazy shit if they carry a purse into tribal.
Oh, Molly carries that purse everywhere. It's the blue one, right? That she just always walks around with. Hi, Molly.
My soul
So-
in there.
So I have a question that was originally for Joe Scar, but I'm going to kind of change it a bit.
We
So-
can't hear it. We were in his alliance.
Okay.
And this was a question that was asked on Twitter the original week that Joe Scar left the game. But Tony, what was your reaction to Joe voting you out and then leaving that next episode, especially because you were friends going into this game, and then you formed the most iconic alliance, according to Jack, the Muppets Alliance. We love you, Jack, by the way.
I love you, Jack.
But Jack, I
I'm
do
so
love you. You're
sorry.
amazing.
We're
We
all
love that.
idiots.
Back to back to back.
Yeah, literally. You're
I felt
totally right.
so bad because we would see the tweets knowing what would happen, and we would be like,
So the question is, how did I feel after finding out?
Mhm.
I was really fucking pissed. I was not happy because, okay, here's the thing. But a lot of what didn't really make it as much in the edit, and Molly watching will be able to corroborate, is that so when I first and foremost, Joe and I are really good friends, and we were really, really close freshman year and also going into sophomore year. We were really excited to play Survivor Boston together. So then, of course, we made the alliance with Hannah, me, and him, the Muppets. And so that was made week one. So I always thought that was something that I could fall back on and rely on. So when I was tribe swapped onto Yord and I found myself in the minority, I thought that him being an ally from week one would be something that I could use to my benefit and try to make a move naively, because I didn't really consider how close he might have gotten with his own tribe. And I recently found out that he and Brandon were even neighbors. So I really underestimated how close Joe would get to Brandon and also other members of his tribe, thinking that he would just have that loyalty to me that we had established week one. So I went into it pretty confident. But when I was tribe swapped onto Yord, I thought that it would be the easiest move if I went along or pitched sending Joe Johnson home, because I thought that that would be the move that could at least keep me going for one more week or two or so on and so forth. And then at this point, Molly was one of my closest allies in the game. And yeah,
Hilarious.
famous last words, right? So so I obviously trusted Molly a lot, and the fact that I thought she gave me an idol at this point, so I was gonna trust her with anything. Listen, I wasn't thinking. She took me on the idol hunt. She didn't just give me the idol. She took me on a hunt. Like we found it together. It wasn't that obvious, but so I told Molly, I was like, hey, I think Joe Johnson might be the vibe. Like, I'm at least going to try and suggest it. And Molly, of course, was working very closely with Joe Johnson. She diverted that plan so that I would not target Joe Johnson. And she said, no, you have to get out a Yord member. And she said, you should try and get out Brandon. Knowing that I had already gotten vibes early on in the season from Brandon and that I would take the bait. So I did. And then I texted Joe running with that plan. And I was like, I think it would be really smart if we got Brandon out now, because I could see him being a threat in the future. And he told me, don't say that. You can't say that. Just say you're voting with Joe Johnson. You're voting for Joe Johnson. And I was like, okay, cross the line, whatever. Little did I know, Joe Scar had told Brandon that I threw his name out, and then just like that, the vote flipped on me. So that was a little hurtful for me, knowing that I went home because I trusted Molly first and foremost. But then Joe Scar, because I thought he was one of my original Alliance members, so I was like, oh, I could like just pick his brain about this. And then, yeah, so that kind of stung. And then I was like quite furious when I found out that he all but self-evicted the next week. I was not pleased because he could have literally just, if he didn't want to be in the game anymore, I could have stayed in. Like, unnecessary move. I was not happy. I love him now, but I was not happy with him at that point in time.
I love how all the comments right now are talking about Shelley's seaweed. It's really funny.
It's good as hell. Like, like it's very off-brand of me to like this as a person who doesn't eat vegetables or drink water.
Or water. Yeah, I was gonna say water.
Have you made the switch though?
What?
Haven't you made the switch, or did you go back?
Just for my concussion, I'm back to Mountain Dew.
Oh, yeah, Shelley got concussed, by the way, guys. But Charlie, you can ask another question.
Yeah, Tony, I have a quick follow-up question for you
Yeah.
that somebody did ask in the poll or in the Google form. So if you had stayed in the game, would you have been more loyal to, say, Molly, Joe, and Hannah, or to Molly, Joe Johnson, and Hannah Mittermeier, or to Hannah Cairo and John and Joe Scar?
So basically, Laku or Mete.
I would have
Yeah.
chosen.
I just listened to you. Look who?
I think just because if I had stayed in the game, like if I at that point still didn't know the idol was fake and I had made it through that week, I think Molly would have still remained a very close ally of mine, or the closest.
Awesome. And I guess this next one is just for.
But
And I guess this next one's for anyone who just wants to answer it in general. So that goes for all four of you, Sarah included in that four. What is it like socializing and strategizing in this game, and how does it affect your real life?
Oh my god! Wait, no.
okay, go.
And you can talk.
We can all do it.
It's a very small school, so
Yeah.
it's a living hell.
And it's like it gets into your freaking brain, dude. Like it freaks you out. Like every time you pass somebody in a hallway, you're like, should we film this? Should we talk strategy right now? And then like it bleeds into everything else. And it makes it hard to see people after the game. It really does.
It's psychological.
Christine was my roommate and she didn't talk to me for a few days, which is hard and weird. Because I was like, hey, Christine. And she'd be like she just did not. She didn't care.
Yeah, it's tough, especially also because like Survivor Boston really is like a community. Like we have a Facebook group. We hang out outside of Survivor. So
It's a
With each
club.
other.
when you wrong someone, it can have consequences. Things can happen. And it's also bizarre because people from our college who we don't know, I don't know if this has happened to you guys, will come up to you and reference things that have happened in the game. It's like, how did they know this about me? It's like, oh yeah, because it's on the internet.
Yeah.
So many people like text me like after episodes air and they'll like say things and I'm like,
It was a really surreal moment for me before the season started because I was like, I wasn't ready for people to have opinions on me. I also thought I would get a much worse edit than I did, quite frankly. So I was expecting to be. A lot of people thought I had negative energy, and that's too. But like I could have been worse.
okay, my favorite line that you said on the show was the mythos of the Emerson gay.
I had to be the next guy.
Like the fact that the sentence makes me so happy.
I literally talked to my friends. I was like, yeah, in the first episode, I just talked about being gay. And like, they talked and they were like, apparently this whole time they had just thought like, oh, like Tony's telling a really cute story about like how his gay identity is like so important to him, and they watch the episode and they're like, you talk about being gay as strategy? Like, what?
And then,
What's wrong with you?
and then Sarah, if you also wanted to take a shot at the question.
Yeah, honestly, I can't. It's hard for me to decide whether or not the drama, like as far as psychologically affecting people in and out of the game, has gotten like worse or better since season 1. Because like with season 1, it was really just an experiment, you know, like a lot of us didn't really know what we were getting ourselves into. So certain people within season 1 took things just extremely personally, like especially with how Brian played the game back then. And shout out to Brian. But like when I blindsided Lexi, like she was legitimately angry with me, and like it took her the entire summer after the game to get over herself. I mean, it's the truth. Like, come on. But I feel like at least with season 1, because like it was an experiment, and a lot of people who are in season 1 cast and crew, like they don't even go to the school anymore. If I think about it,
No,
right?
A lot of you don't.
Yeah, like a lot of us just like transferred and stuff, because this was like our freshman year. So, I mean, I don't know. It was definitely weird to play it as a freshman with only freshmen. Now there's a lot of grade diversity, and I think that kind of helps alleviate the psychological torture that there kind of is, than what we experienced in season 1. Also, in season 1, we played it in half the amount of time that we did in seasons 2 or 3.
Can't imagine.
So that's like, it was a lot of stress packed into a very, very short amount of time. And even though I won, I was literally having stress dreams like the entire summer afterwards. Like, what if I like did this one move differently and then I like didn't win? You know, it was like really stressed me out, even though I did win.
Speaking of like stress of the game and like the kind of tolls it can take, this last episode definitely got very tense and like and a little bit, and there were a lot of emotions. Hannah, did this sort of like have any impact like in real life?
Yeah. I mean, I cried, and now it's on YouTube forever. Which is embarrassing because everybody else's exit interview was like, I had such a great time, and I literally was like,
my exit interview. I'm like, I wouldn't Joe. I think I wouldn't trust Joe. My mistake. I think I trusted Joe. I want Molly to make it far.
Betrayal. But Shelley, your exit interview was great because you mentioned me. It was really, really tough because, like, I truly didn't feel like I deserved to go home, which I guess nobody thinks that. Like, okay, I just didn't think that I deserved to go home, and so when I was sent home, it was really hard. But like, yeah, it was like really hard to look at Molly in the face for a while because I was like, oh, you straight up hate me. And Bram, I didn't know Bram hated me. I learned that yesterday. I had no idea.
Oh boy.
Several shows with him.
Like, these are literally all revelations we are having.
All right. Just to kind of say what's going on in the chat right now, just so everybody knows. Polly says my favorite Tony line was T. Yeah, that just makes sense. I'm actually just like really happy that all three of you ended up playing this game. I think going into this season, you three were the ones I was most excited to just like rewatch your gameplay or cones.
I literally knew what happened. I was like, the cone episode will be the best episode of Survivor Boston. Yeah, and I think it is.
So just because for the viewers, because season 5 is going on right now, we actually have tribal in like less than 20 minutes.
Yeah,
so we're gonna do a quick.
I gotta run.
We're gonna do a quick wrap up. So if any of the 4 players that are here have any last words or anything that they want to say about their season 3 experience, or if they want to drop any social media. I know that like it's really easy to find you guys now, but like if you guys wanted to do whatever, whoever wants to start can do it.
Yeah, I'm at Hannah Cairo on Twitter, at Hannah_Cairo on Instagram. But yeah, I had a really awesome time playing the game up until the last week. But everything else is really great, and I became closer with these 2 clowns,
Yeah.
and like everybody on it, and I was having a tough time socially, and then I played Survivor Boston, and then I was like, oh shit, like good people exist at the
Literally.
school, and it's a good time. And yeah, I had a really great time, and I really hope that you guys release those first impression videos that apparently you guys filmed for every season.
We remember. And one of the hosts lost them, and it wasn't me.
Jacob.
Sorry.
Thought we would play.
He only lost like 2 of them.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't want
was
to.
it mine though?
We just didn't. No,
Oh,
we just didn't. Yeah, we still have most of them. We just
Okay.
didn't get them out in time. Yeah, we just didn't get them out in time.
yeah, me too.
My Twitter is at RealMegTrainer. That's TrainOR. It's a horrible Twitter. My Instagram is a.biancanello, and I think we're supposed to plug ourselves, but yeah, I love Survivor Boston. I love all the people. I love you guys for the most part liking me. Some of you go off.
It was so great playing with everyone. I had fun up until the very last tribal. And I just have been so freaking grateful for how many people have said such nice things. And it just has been amazing. My Instagram is Shelley Johanna Gruenberg. And my Twitter is foul, but it's at not Shelley Joe, but it's actively gross so much that like if you don't follow it, I won't blame anyone.
Nobody's followed my Twitter yet. That's really interesting.
Mine too. I don't have enough followers. I don't get enough likes. I'm trying to go for the pity vote right now.
Yeah, you can also find Hannah on Wheel of Fortune soon.
Oh yeah.
March 19th at I think 7:30 p.m. I will be on Wheel of Fortune representing Emerson fucking College. Please watch me, because if you enjoyed how stupid I was on this show, get ready.
Awesome.
One last thing that I'll say is that Survivor Boston was really how I found like myself and my friends at Emerson. And I think my college experience would be a lot sadder if I didn't have this, you know? And something really cool is that players that have played like come back and are on crew. Like, so not only do we like hang out, but we are all just kind of constantly making the show. And just watching yourself back, you do weird shit on camera, and it's just like, it is what it is. If anyone remembers this, that I did for an entire confessional, I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah.
Like scratching your head?
It was like this. I was thinking, and I was like,
It's like a weird way to like use your arm too instead of
yeah.
like.
I was like,
I noticed all like the tiniest little moments.
Yeah.
In the trial we sent Christine home, there's a moment where you asked John the question on what are you basing the vote off of? And John's like, I think at this point there's nothing we really could base it on. So I guess we're just basing it on. And I look so cocky. I'm like, and then he says, I guess at this point the only thing we could really base it on is character. And you see just I'm like, we're voting it off. What? I was like, I'm going to get blindsided. So like, it's just catching like the minuscule moments. Me doing like this in the middle of tribal, and then like, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, me giving like a gym look to camera when Molly goes like, I don't feel safe, like playing with this person. I just like, really, like I'm just still embarrassed of the first episode when I got put on Mete and I give a tiny little clap. Like, that's so stupid. And I regret it. And
I run so fucking weird. I was watching about the footage and I was like, how am I upright? I run like a baby.
I think the moment where I was most, I'm just gonna say this one thing before we say that.
sure.
The moment, because that same tribal, Tony, I asked Moses, like, how is playing this game a second time, like, different? And he's like, well, everybody, this cast is a completely different group of people. And I'm like, no shit, Moses. No shit.
You know what?
And then, like, after that tribal, I lost it.
Good.
I'm really good.
And then
I
feeling good.
lost it.
He has a point. Like,
Well, yes, he's right, but what? I lost my shit afterwards after that tribal. I was just yelling at Charlie and Sarah. I'm like, what the fuck was that answer? And why did I let it slide? I was just like, what?
and then in the and then in the trial from Shelley, Moses is like, yeah, I've talked to like everyone in tribe. We've gotten really closer, and I look around. I'm like,
Oh my god.
Okay, that's still the tribal you sent home, Shelley.
All right. Just
we do have
quickly
to
wrap
yeah.
this. Jack, yes, the second you're 21, we will all go hang out with you.
what?
Jack 21. He wants to hang out.
He is 21. You
Oh, I read that wrong. Okay, whatever. I'll
fucking
hang out, Jack.
phonics. He said, now that I'm finally.
Oh, whatever. I'll hang out, Jack. Let's do it. But basically, because this was the last episode before the merge, we will be returning on March 28th. I think is the day, right, Charlie?
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
We do this every season. We're doing a gap between the pre-merge and the post-merge.
Yep.
So we'll be back
So-
March 28th.
March 28th, our merge episode. 2 votes in this episode, so you won't want to miss that. 2 people will be going home in this next episode. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be a great time. This was a phenomenal pre-merge with some of the biggest characters I think we've ever had. 3 of my favorite characters all sitting right in front of me, and I'm really glad that all of y'all played. And thank you all to the fans for making this such a fun interactive experience, like posting on Twitter, posting on your Instagrams, commenting every single week. We do have an alumni page for just the players, and this is all we talk about all week. It is amazing. So yeah, thank you all for being such amazing fans.
My name was so good yesterday.
All right, we're signing off because Charlie and I have to go
Bye, guys.
tribal, but thank you all.
Thank
See y'all
you all.
later.
We made